Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 23 of Ask an Adventurer, an intermittent series of videos in which you ask me questions about whatever you want. Adventures, writing books, earning money, growing gigantic muscles, whatever you like. Fill in the form, ask me a question, who knows? I might ask it next. Here we go. Question from Fran. Have you had any children's adventure books published in Spanish? If not, are there any other books you'd recommend for 6 to 7 year olds that have a Spanish version? I don't have a Spanish version. This might be highly controversial. I do have a Catalan version of este libro, Gran Aventureras, Los Viajes Increíbles de 20 Aventuros. Viajeros, quizás. Great adventures I've got in Catalan, nothing in Spanish. I've been so rubbish. I fail so badly at getting my books translated. Weirdly, my Boy Who Bite the World books and My Girl Who Rode the Ocean are doing really well in Turkey. I signed a tiny little royalty deal for Turkey. I assumed that basically no one would buy my book, but it'd be quite fun. So I was like, yeah, whatever. But it seems to be selling really well in Turkey. I get lots of Instagram messages from Turkish families, and also my books, really weirdly, are doing quite well in Iran. And what's weird there is that the Iranian publishers are just publishing my books illegally. They don't have illegally in our opinion. We don't have the same copyright laws as them. So they are apparently in Iran entirely legally allowed to just take my books, completely and utterly copy them and sell them. And they're doing quite well. So, which is, there are some issues that I have with that, but I do really like that. I keep getting messages from Iranian kids and families. I really like that. Next question from Anton. What are your favourite adventure books? Crikey, well, this could be very long. Actually, I've already done some YouTube videos over the years about all sorts of categories of favourite books. But you go on to say you like... here are your favourites. Phil Harwood, Canoeing the Congo. That's pretty epic. Charlie Walker, Through Sand and Snow. Sean Conway, Cycling the Earth. Russ Cook, Hardest Geezer. You like the Ginger Runners. I'd love to hear your recommendations. Perhaps one featuring female adventurers, or maybe even some older classics that paved the way. Well, these are two good categories I can answer here. So go into Google and type Alistair Humphreys Adventure Books Written for Women, and you'll find this blog post that I've brought up now, which puts some of my recommendations. But better than that, it got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. In fact, how many? 132 recommendations from other readers. Some that I really like from this book, from this list of women adventures I put up. Rosie Swell Pope, You Like Your Running, Just a Little Run Around the World. Robin Davidson, Tracks, fantastic book. Paddling North, Audrey Sutherland, fantastic book. Dervla Murphy, classic of the genre, but she really inspired me to get into long distance bike riding, and she was doing hardcore epic stuff long ago, so she's a great trailblazer. Jenny Graham, Coffee First in the World. Anna McNuff, Pants of Perspective. Land of Lost Borders by Kate Harris. The Sun is a Compass. Caroline Van... Gosh, my eyesight's getting terrible. Caroline she lives in Alaska, and that's a cool book. And then you also ask about some sort of classics of the genre. Well, if you type into Google Alistair Humphreys Adventure Reading 101, this is an old blog post I wrote, and I think that's quite relevant because this was right in my heyday of being totally obsessed with expedition literature, and I'll give you a couple. Polar Books, The Worst Journey in the World, wonderful book. If you get a bit bored with all the penguins, just skip forward 100 pages. Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know, Ranulph Fiennes. Mountains, Annapurna, Kiss or Kill, No Picnic on Mount Kenya, Space Beneath My Feet, and The Ascent of Rum Doodle. I'd forgotten that one. That's a cracking book. Jungle Books, Walking the Amazon, Ed Stafford, Mad White Giant, Benedict Allen. Did I mention? I should have mentioned Wild by Cheryl Strayed in the previous thing, The Women Wild by Cheryl Strayed, The Whole Story by Fiona Campbell, The Sun is a Compass by Caroline van Hemert, fantastic books. Desert books, Arabian Sands, classic of the genre. Ocean books, A Voyage for Madmen, mad story. Fighting Chance, very old school. John Ridgway, The Kon-Tiki Expedition, what a story. Crikey. Canoeing books, I really enjoyed Robert Twigger's Voyager. And then Big Adventures, Space, Carrying the Fire, Michael Collins, Moon Dust, Andrew Smith. Poof! I could go on and on. I love this sort of stuff. Oh, and what's good on here? Oh yes, look, on here, I've then put, here are some other blog posts for you to get stuck into. And then there are many, many blog posts about all sorts of different kinds of adventure books. I like books. I like adventure books. Books have got me inspired to do pretty much everything that I've done. Next question from Mia. Hi, I am the manager of brand Randy Sun. Are you interested in reviewing our breathable, waterproof socks? Fantastic. Well, hey, who's not up for a freebie? Thank you, Mia, for offering me some breathable, very important, waterproof, very important socks. So if these are good, Randy Sun socks, then these sound great. Thank you. I'm currently, though, sponsored by Alpkit, who make, I don't think they make breathable outdoor socks, but they make lovely, good value outdoor gear with good integrity, and I'm sponsored by them. So I better decline your offer, Mia, but hopefully this shout out on YouTube might help. Next question. Will you ever retire? If you do you think money would ever be an issue? With apologies if this is too personal. Wow. Well, some might say it's hard to retire when you haven't got a proper job. But let's assume that I do actually have a job. And I guess I kind of do, and that I earn my living from doing this sort of stuff. Will I retire? Well, I love most things that I do. And therefore I suspect I'll just keep on doing the things that I enjoy. But will I let's just take that as a money question. Will I retire? Yes, I guess, I hope I will eventually have saved up enough cash to retire like normal people do. And here we go. This is one of, I love ranting on about adventure. What I'm really keen on these days is banging on about compound interest and index funds. This is the sort of stuff nobody taught me when I was doing Latin GCSE at school, but it's totally valuable. If you have not yet started a low-cost index fund from, let's say, Vanguard, then please start it today. The best time to start a pension is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. If you start saving young, it makes an insane difference to your life. So please don't be like me, start saving really early. Gosh, yeah, that, if you're a teacher at school, please teach your kids today about compound interest and index funds. Why on earth did I not do that in all of my blooming A levels? I could do some calculus and Pythagoras and entropy and rant over. Next question. Why would you not do TV work? Surely this could be quite lucrative, possibly even life-changing. Well, let's start by saying I tried. I did try. I really thought Micro Adventures would be a great TV series to get normal people with normal lives, stress, busy, family, kids, work, all that sort of stuff, and just get them and take them out and sleep on a local hill near to where they live, wake up in the morning, run back down the hill, get back on with life, feeling just a tiny bit transformed. I thought it was a really simple but really nice and quite powerful TV idea. And we got as far as getting a pilot episode shot. So we filmed a pilot episode for the BBC, but unfortunately it failed to get actually commissioned on the grounds that it was not epic enough, which of all the reasons to reject, it was so annoying because that was the exact point. They were essentially saying, sorry, this isn't Bear Grylls enough. And the point I was trying to make was life isn't like Bear Grylls for 99.99% of the people, so hey, go have a micro-adventure. Anyway, it failed, didn't happen. And that's very frustrating. It also takes so long to get anything done, like endless meetings and false hopes and nothing happening. It's so frustrating that in the end I just prefer to just make my own stuff, put it on YouTube. And I get a tiny, tiny, tiny number of people watching anything or engaging, but at least I can now just do stuff on my terms, when I want, how I want, at the speed I want. So I tried, I failed. It would have been cool, didn't happen. There's lots of different arguments to all these things. I was once doing a day's filming with Ben Fogle, who is a lovely guy, and he's famous. He's a famous TV guy. And we were doing this filming stuff, and at lunchtime we went into town to buy lunch, and as we walked down the street, everyone was looking like, there's Ben Fogle, and people were talking to him and having selfies with him. And Ben seemed to quite like that. He's a cheerful, outgoing guy, and he's very good at that, very kind with it. But I was walking next to him, anonymous adventure dude, so grateful that I was not famous. So I have no desire ever to be famous, so not being on TV is a good start for that. Right, and then what? We've got time for one more question. Oh yes, this is a good one that I read earlier. Have you got a tattoo? If so, what is it? If not, why not? What a great question. Have I got a tattoo? No, I don't have a tattoo. Why don't I have a tattoo? Two main reasons. Number one is sort of indecision, not really kind of knowing quite what to get, worrying that when I'm 80 I won't like the same things I like now. Indecision, not having a genius idea. But the main reason I've never had a tattoo is my mum would go absolutely nuts. She would get so unbelievably cross if I got a tattoo, which I have to say is almost temptation enough to get it, just to see how mad she would go at Christmas dinner. Don't worry, Mum, I wouldn't do that. However, would I get a tattoo? I was thinking about this, and I think what I would probably get, hopefully in a slightly better design than this, would be I'm ready to grow young again. So if and when I get a tattoo, I'm ready to grow young again. Any tattooists out there want to offer some tattooing sponsorship? That would be great. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for sending in your questions. If you would like to possibly have your question dealt with in the next Ask an Adventurer, fill in the form below and woohoo, who knows. Thanks very much. Bye.